Good morning, NFL fans. Good morning, Philadelphia Eagles fans, to another Philadelphia Eagles video. Today, we're going to be talking about Chip Kelly and the issues that are surrounding him, either relating or not relating to his players that cause for them to either be released, for them to sign other places, or to be traded. I personally have watched a couple players go. Some I thought I understood why completely, and some that I wish didn't go, like Jeremy Maclin, or in the case of Brandon Boykin leaving recently. I didn't want to see that go. Thought I understood Deshaun Jackson and LaShawn McCoy kind of leaving, and we'll just talk through that real quick. So, what was it, like 2 years ago? We just flat out released Deshaun Jackson. Flat out just released him. And it was for a couple different reasons. I don't know if the media did a good job of saying that Deshaun Jackson surrounded themselves with people that were going to put him in a position where things were going to come out and there's going to be some kind of punitive action or something in the NFL anyway when they find out what Jackson was all about or what he was into. So we might as well just get rid of him before the Philadelphia Eagles were, kind of pulled into that as well. That kind of just left. There's some people that didn't like Deshaun Jackson anyway, because the idea is that he would take plays off and wouldn't play 100% all the time on every play, regardless if the ball was coming to him or not. And then there was also the aspect, this part I definitely understand. Deshaun Jackson is not that big. So it's pretty near impossible for him to run block, right, which is a requirement for Chip Kelly. So the money that he demanded for what he brought to the table, he's a home run hitter, definitely a home run hitter. There's no doubting about it. But then if you can't run block and then you don't play every play 100%, then there are some issues. So it was easier to get rid of him. People still had questions of how come we didn't get any draft picks, but they thought something was going to come out, so like, whatever. And let that go away. A couple years later, nothing came out. He's still playing. Then LaShawn McCoy. LaShawn McCoy wanted like 12 million or so, 12.5 million or something. And yeah, there are times that he could take over a game, like against the Detroit Lions in the snow. But then there's some things said about him off field and how he treats some people, and his running style as well. His running style being more just trying to get some yards and more outside instead of downhill and through the tackles, between the tackles. And then even while he's left and he said what he said about Chip Kelly, he hasn't necessarily represented himself too well and verbally, and he kind of, to me, seems more flip-floppy, where he's talking about how much of a genius Chip Kelly is before he's traded, and then after it's how racist Chip Kelly is. So to me, it didn't bother me so much, especially getting Kiko Alonso. There's also the age factor. He's going to be declining. I mean, people can say all sorts of stuff, and you kind of take that and you're like, okay. I did take notice to two different things. One of them, Jeremy Maclin going to Kansas City and going back with Andy Reid, and also Brandon Boykin saying what he did after he got traded to Pittsburgh, but because Brandon Boykin has done nothing but make plays for the Eagles, he hasn't been a liability in coverage in the secondary, which is something that we needed a lot of help with. But once again, the height, weight, Brandon Boykin's not that tall. And I get it from the aspect of what Chip Kelly's saying, where you need to have a certain height because you can't make up, like if Brandon Boykin's 5'10", but he's got to cover Calvin Benjamin from Carolina, you got to make up like 7 inches. And that means you have to play that much more spectacular on a regular basis. For somebody that plays average, you have to make up that gap, and it's highly unlikely somebody's going to stay at such a high level for long. But I'm still going to be rooting for Brandon Boykin when he goes to Pittsburgh and maybe gets a shot starting on the outside. My concern is yes, Chip Kelly's style that might not attract the passionate type of player that we in Philly really love, and to keep them here. We have some history of very passionate players, some that just passed away, like Chuck Bednarik is the famous picture when he was above the guy in 1960. I mean, that's the last time we won anything in football anyway in this city. But then let's take some other guys like Reggie White and Randall Cunningham and Brian Dawkins. I mean, can we keep those kind of passionate players that were good for the organization? And can we allow for this team to gel more than just professionally? Because I definitely see that there's three different aspects to football. And you have the managers, you have the players, and you have the fans. Make no mistake, managers, which is the coaches and the owners and all those guys, they're there to make money. The NFL is about making money. It's entertainment, yes, but it's about making money. So you have them there. You have the fans right here. We're the ones giving all the money. Marketing. The fans are all about the entertainment aspect and the passion aspect. Like, we want to go to a game. Like, all of us work in these environments that we're just, sometimes football is just getting away for a weekend and just being able to focus on something else and be able to get really hyped up and excited about something. So we want to see like the passion side of it, and that's why we're cheering. That's why we do videos at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's why we yell and can't wait for the season to start. You got the players right in the middle. You got the players right in the middle where they have to satisfy what management wants and the fan wants to be truly successful all the way at the same time as winning the whole thing. I mean, all fans and every team want their team to win the Super Bowl. That's what it is. And the players get affected by money because they have to work out contracts, say, I think I'm worth this, so I need you to give them this money. But they also deal with the fans and say, I'm a player of passion that you want to root for, and I want you to be yelling my name. I want to be in the Hall of Fame. I want to be remembered for the right reasons, and I want the fans to recognize that and respect my talents and skills, and I want to showcase that to them, and I want to really affect the city that I play for. I coach a little bit. I don't coach in the NFL, so I'm not going to pretend like I am at Chip Kelly's level with that, but I personally coach very passionately, very high energy, and I know that that's an aspect that people need to achieve more than just saying it's a professional thing, just come there, do your job, and go home. I have worked in environments that expect just for strict professionalism, and I tell you, you miss an aspect. You miss an aspect of what you can get from somebody if you just expect for them just to follow the rules. There is a human aspect no matter how much money you pay them, because I understand players get paid millions of dollars, but that's still, money's not everything. I haven't yet to see a player on the sideline not go in to the final play of the Super Bowl saying, well, you got to give me $1,000 for me to go in. There's an aspect that just takes over when the fans are there, when they're yelling and screaming, when everything's on the line of who you are and how you play and the passion you are as a person is on the line. You don't think about the money. You think about the feeling. You think about the emotional aspect. And Chip Kelly just flat out said he's not going to be that guy. He's not. We can now expect that. He's not going to be that guy because of his style. His style is one of professionalism, that he wants guys to come there and do their job, but he also wants to be able to evaluate people and not be blinded by closer relationships with people, so he doesn't hang on to people longer than he should. I understand that part. That means also he knows himself, and I'm okay with that part. The question I do have is, does he allow for the players, if respectfully, does he allow for them to get what they need to satisfy the emotional and I believe spiritual aspect while practicing and all that? Does he allow for that? Does he allow for that change? Does he allow for that player and fan to own that aspect to get that much more out? Or does he say, no, I don't let any of that stuff happen? And not just not relating with the players, but not allowing the players to relate with each other and with the city. Because there's a certain ownership. The managers own a certain part, the players own a certain part, and the fans own a certain part. I would love to talk with some Eagles players, current, past, and some Brandon Boykin. I would love to talk to you, like on Skype or something, about this topic because I think it's important. So I've talked to you about a little bit about also what I've dealt with in the professional world, but also you're talking to another military guy. Military guy definitely requires for you to have a level of professionalism, and you have to have professionalism above relating. Like, I can't come in the Navy dressed a certain way, talking a certain way, and going, well, you guys just got to relate. No, you have to conform to a certain system, because that system is what's needed to not kill your fellow shipmate or whatever, but to be generally successful. But then that group together still owns a certain aspect of working together to elevate past what that initial structure, that initial foundation is. And that's what I'm wondering. I'm not necessarily putting it all on the players. I'm not putting it all on the fans, even though we do own a certain part of it, and that's what I try to help with all this stuff, but also the management as well. They need to own and recognize that the players need a little more sometimes. And what is needed, so these players can achieve more. I do believe that Chip Kelly is grabbing people that also aren't going to be an emotional wreck too, though. That's something that I'm aware of. You want professional people because you don't want people always chasing that emotional high that they think that they need all the time, and that's the only time they're going to perform. You need high-level performing athletes and professionals that will operate at a high level, so their starting point is right here, but there's still that aspect to push that ceiling just a little further. And that's what my concern is, because when we win the whole thing, hopefully before I'm dead, right? When we win the whole thing, it's going to be bigger than just X's and O's. I hope, just like some of the players have done, like Brent Selleck or Connor Barron or whoever, I hope that the organization relates with Philadelphia, so when we win the whole thing, the win is bigger than just football. Because even if it's just that, it still won't be as fulfilling than if we are all relating together on what level that we need to truly be a great team. And I want to do it more than 1 year. I want to be consistently good in all aspects. So, yes, I am concerned. I want to throw those concerns out there. I want to hear your comments on not just this video, but going forward about this topic. I do want to focus on the season and playing the games, but I think this is a necessary topic to not just brush over, because it might continue to come up, and if so, how are we going to handle it as a complete organization? The managers, the players, and the fans. We got to do this thing together, and I hope we win this whole thing together, because if and when we do, we will all be on Broad Street together. So that's the video for today. Hopefully it didn't go too long. Looking forward to hearing your comments, and I hope you have a great day. Go Birds.